What if the key to your weight loss success, or your biggest weight regain nightmare, isn't in your stomach, but in your gut? And we're talking bacteria. GLP-1 medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, and Mounjaro are rewriting everything we thought we knew about hunger and metabolism. But there's one sneaky transformation you probably haven't heard about: the gut microbiome makeover that's happening right under your nose, or technically, below your stomach. This isn't just about digestion. This is about inflammation, cravings, immunity, and whether your weight loss will actually last. Let's dive in. The gut microbiome, your body's forgotten brain. So let's rewind. Your gut isn't just a tube that digests food. It's home to trillions of bacteria, fungi, and viruses. Collectively, we call this the gut microbiome, and it's basically your second brain. It makes neurotransmitters, manages inflammation, teaches your immune system what to attack, and even talks to your actual brain. And when it comes to metabolism, the gut microbiome is running the show. These microbes influence how you absorb calories, how quickly you feel full, and even what foods you crave. Yep, that 2 a.m. cookie binge might have been the bacteria talking. Some bacteria break down fiber into fatty acids that help regulate your appetite and blood sugar. Others increase inflammation and insulin resistance. So now imagine dropping a GLP-1 bomb into this delicately balanced microbial society. What happens next? Well, it's complicated. GLP-1 basics. Why these drugs are more than just appetite killers. You probably know GLP-1 meds for their viral fame. They suppress hunger. They slow stomach emptying. But what's often left out is that GLP-1s also have effects throughout the gut, and possibly on the bacteria inside it. GLP-1 is a hormone that's naturally produced in your intestines after eating. When you inject a GLP-1 agonist like semaglutide, you're supercharging this natural signal. The GLP-1 microbiome shift. What the research shows so far. So what does the actual research say? While human studies are still early, animal studies give us some shocking clues. In mice, GLP-1 drugs have been shown to significantly shift the gut microbiota. Here's how. Reduced diversity. Some studies show a drop in the richness and diversity of gut bacteria on GLP-1 drugs. That can be bad news. Low diversity is often linked with obesity, diabetes, and immune dysfunction. Changes in dominant bacteria. In particular, a rise in firmicutes and a drop in bacteroidetes have been observed. The firmicutes/bacteroidetes ratio is one of the most debated markers of obesity. Some believe more firmicutes equals more calorie extraction from food. Decreased short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs. GLP-1 slows down fiber fermentation, which leads to fewer SCFAs like butyrate. Butyrate is critical for gut lining health and immune regulation. That could mean increased inflammation risk. Altered bile acids. GLP-1s affect how bile acids are secreted. Bile acids don't just digest fat. They act like hormones and regulate bacteria. Change them, and the entire microbial population can shift. In humans, early microbiome testing in patients on semaglutide or liraglutide has shown similar changes, including a potential increase in Akkermansia mucinifila, which may sound like a Harry Potter spell, but is actually a bacteria linked to leanness and metabolic health. So is this good or bad? The answer is yes. Are these changes to your gut microbiome beneficial, or setting you up for a rebound crash once the drug stops? Let's look at the pros. White heavy checkmark: appetite control via gut signals. GLP-1 reduces hunger bacteria like Clostridium and may increase microbes that produce PYY and GLP-1 itself, reinforcing the satiety loop. White heavy checkmark: possible rise in Akkermansia. This bug has been linked to improved gut lining and reduced inflammation, key for long-term metabolic health. Why your diet still matters on GLP-1. Here's where the rubber meets the road. If GLP-1 changes your gut bacteria, your diet determines whether those changes help or hurt you. When people reduce calories, they often reduce fiber, the main food source for good bacteria. That's like taking antibiotics and then refusing to eat yogurt. On GLP-1, people often eat less overall, skip meals, and gravitate toward easier to digest foods. That means crossmark: less prebiotic fiber, crossmark: less plant diversity, crossmark: fewer fermented foods. The result? A starving, angry microbiome. To protect your gut during GLP-1 therapy, prioritize plant fiber. Even in small meals, include greens, nuts, seeds, and legumes. Add probiotics. Consider yogurt, kefir, kimchi, or a supplement. Hydrate more. Slower digestion requires more water to keep things moving. Exercise. Movement improves gut motility and microbial diversity. The goal? Make your gut resilient so when you reduce or stop GLP-1, your metabolism doesn't rebound with a vengeance. Could GLP-1 be used to treat gut disorders? Here's the wild twist. What if these microbial changes aren't a side effect, but a feature? Some researchers believe GLP-1 drugs could help treat IBD, inflammatory bowel disease. GLP-1 reduces gut inflammation and may improve mucosal healing. SIBO and IBS. By modulating gut motility and microbiota, GLP-1 might be used to rebalance overgrowth syndromes. Autoimmune diseases. If GLP-1 reduces inflammation and shifts gut bacteria in the right direction, it could be used beyond diabetes and obesity. Think lupus, thyroiditis, or even MS. Clinical trials are beginning to explore GLP-1's impact on gut permeability, microbiome structure, and immune signaling, especially in patients with chronic digestive issues. If the microbiome really is a control center for immunity and metabolism, then GLP-1 might be the gut whisperer we never expected. Final thoughts: microbiome makeover or microbial mess? Here's the bottom line. GLP-1 drugs are changing the game, not just in your brain or your blood sugar, but in your gut. Whether that's a miracle or a microbiome mess depends on what you eat, how long you stay on the drug, and how you support your gut health during the journey. The gut is more than a digestive system. It's a battlefield, a control center, a hormone factory, and your first line of defense. If you're changing your weight, metabolism, or appetite, your microbiome is coming along for the ride, whether you like it or not. So don't forget it. Feed it. Support it. Test it if you can. Because the weight might come off fast, but your gut never forgets. If this blew your mind or made you rethink your whole GLP-1 journey, hit that like button. Share it with someone riding the Ozempic wave and ignoring their gut entirely. And if you want to follow up on how to rebuild your microbiome after stopping GLP-1, drop a comment below.